Okay, good to see you again. I want you to notice that there is a first homework assignment distributed, posted on the Blackboard. Why this late? I guess there are a few students still do not get the proper environment to do this homework assignment. Hopefully, all uh, on the same page so that we can our students can do the homework properly. But those who are not ready, you should. That is your responsibility. If you have any issues, online students, I'm not sure how can I help, but I tried my best. But if you can come to my office hours, then I can help you definitely. The thing is this: you have to download the proper virtual machine. The best virtual machine is a VMware workstation. Um, and guess the operating systems that we are using. Again, entire this class, we do not really require a virtual machine, therefore Linux operating systems. Only Linux operating systems. For those who have Windows system only, like mine, uh, an easier way that you can set up Linux operating system is uh, do the installation of VMware Workstation first, and on top, then you can install Ubuntu. So we assume that you all have Ubuntu. If you do not have Ubuntu, I think you have similar Linux operating systems running on your system. What I want you to do is, I try to make clear here, um, follow these steps and answer A, 1.A, 2.A, B, and C. And I want you to submit the new file that you first copy from password PASSWD, which is available on your uh, Linux operating systems. Can anyone say where it is available? That is a file that that specifies all the credentials of the user who can enter your Linux operating systems. That is available in somewhere on your file system. Can anyone say any? If you do, well, for you to understand, here is the thing. If you go to Ubuntu, well, actually, some of you may notice that I have so many Ubuntu's and one Kali. Reason I have so many Ubuntu is meanwhile because I am running so many different application programs on my one single very limited resources of my systems. So it, it lost some file systems. Lost. My virtual machine uh, disconnect uh, the file system, the physical location, therefore you cannot bring it. In your case, I expect that you have one problem after another and another. At every time, if you have any issues on your guest operating systems, for example, Ubuntu Linux box, then reinstall it. That is the beauty of your VMware workstation or Oracle uh, VirtualBox. Okay, reinstall it and restart. You don't have to worry about, right? Like mine. So I have so many. So recent one is Ubuntu 15F, and then I can log in. Um, the password file, this is all the operating systems, all the Linux operating systems has this file. And I think I explained this last time, why we have a password file and a shadow file, and more than that. Change the directory to etc, etc. Then there are so many files. The files that I want you to note here is, for example, password, PASSWD. We will do maybe after the midterm exam, user management, so that if you are a Linux administrator, then you can create a user. There are so many different types of users to be created on your Linux box. For example, user who can run the shell, the Unix shell. By default, there is a bash shell. That is possible. Some user, you can only use that user, some different types of user who do not have any home directory, which means they cannot save their work at all, but they have some sort of accessibility. They can come in the system in very limited viewpoints. For example, they can upload the file, they can download the file, one or the other, or both, but they cannot save any files. But that type of user. Another type of user is they can come in, they can execute some program, but they cannot save it. Some of the user categories, they can come in and they can save the files, but they can execute a limited application programs. For example, if there is a web server or database server, but each such systems has its own access control. So that you need to have another level of login ID and password. So there may be two ways. You need to first get in the system using your Linux user ID and password. So once you get a shell prompt is like this. This is the shell prompt, right? This is shell prompt. Like this. It's all shell prompt, so that you can issue some command. It doesn't mean that you have automatically the right to execute all the programs available on this Linux box. There are some other level of applications, so that you need to acquire additional user ID and password. The applications that requires extra such credentials include the database systems, web server systems. Then you need to acquire additional user ID and password. But anyway, so here, password is the file that specifies about your accessibility here, and each user can be in a group. So if you see the group, then there's a list of groups, so that Linux administrator can put you in one or more groups there. Another thing is, for example, shadow. This is another file that specifies about your encoded, encrypted password itself. Okay. This shadow file is very sensitive, so that not all users can see this file, but all users should read password file. When you log in as one regular user ID, using your user ID, you need to open this password, and then you have to be verified your accessibility. So you have the right to open this file. If you open this file, then you can see other information as well. That is the reason all the password itself is shadowed. It's somewhere else, which is a shadow file. There are so many such files available, but I want you to copy this file. If you see this file itself, then see here, for me, this is something about me, right? Jae-yoon, this is my user ID, and there is a something and some other things, right? This is my full name, and this is a something that I explained the last time, so that you need to answer to this question. For example, what is a numerical way sticky bit of the file? When you copy it into your directory, your home directory, then you can see the sticky bits. The two representation of sticky bits. What sticky bits can do is it can tell you whether you can have the right to read, right to write, right to execute, three types of operations. The privileges of the three operations can be specified, right? So I want you to answer that. If you review the course materials covered last week, then you will know that. If you do not, then you have to study that and then answer to this. And then number 2, edit the password text file to add one more row, which means right now this is the last row, right? I want you to add one more row like this. How can you do this? Basically, if you add a new user, then using some command, special command that you can use, we'll learn that later. Then this item can be automatically added. The question that I ask you to do at this time is not using the command, but edit it. Open the file and type it. But you have to answer the following question. How can you edit it? The editor that I recommend you to do is VI editor. You know that we learned last time, right? VI editor. So you have to open the file and edit it, and then submit it. The file that you can submit it here in this web browser. For example, you can open up, if you have Ubuntu, for example, then you have here, then you can open, for example, mercy.blackboard.com, and then you can get in Blackboard, and then you can submit it. If you have any problem accessing this, then let's say if this is the file, then you can Do whatever you want, okay, to your best. The best way that I expect you to submit is open up the web browser on your Ubuntu and then submit it from there. That's what I want. Um, okay, and then what is next? And then give me the user ID of that person. If you say, oh, I create, for example, Jaeyun is already created, so that I can say some others. Nyoon, okay, Nyoon, if you want. Then you can do also, you can answer that here, uh, yes, that is Nyoon. What is the group ID uh, that the user belongs to? Then, because you already edited, you know what it means. So you can say 1000. 1000 is group ID, or 2000, or whatever the way that you typed here. And what is the fully qualified path to the home for that user? For example, if there is a /home /nyoon, then that is the fully qualified path. That is what I ask you to answer. So you need to answer all those 4 questions. Plus, you have to submit the file. My password, my passwd.txt. My passwd.txt is initially copied from PSSWD, and then I want you to add one more item there. All right, clear? Your homework assignments? Okay, then I will close this because I need to utilize all the computing power. Otherwise, my computer will slow. Last time, so I close this. All right. All right. So here is my this is my home. This is my home. That is specified in my password file. All right. Hopefully you can answer with no problem. Okay, let's try the new module, Advanced Linux Command. Well, actually, we cannot say which ones advanced commands, which ones are really basic commands. Some of this still basic commands. Okay. Some of that we already learned, maybe advanced. It's not really clearly defined. So anyway, history of a command. Sometimes you might need to see what command that I've done so far. Then you can type history. So far, how many commands that I issued? I have 74 commands. Wow, so many, right? First command is lsdev somewhere more local or some installation. Right? With some VI things. Did I edit anything? No, no. Okay, so that is the history. So some histories can be seen. If you want to clear command from the history, then you can say history -c. If you want to read the more detailed manual about history, then simply you can say man and history. Then you will see more detailed. This is a GNU from the GNU library. So I wanted to read some of those, and there is a exclamation sign explained like this, but in the next slide of today's module explain that. And also we did the last time, right? If you make double exclamation marks, then that is a command that can execute the very previous command that you just did, right? Like redo the previous ones. Then there is double exclamation. If you want to do something that you've done long time ago, but you know, for example, oh, I know something because I mean from the history command, the outcome of history will tell you the command line, command number, and the command itself. So you can execute a specific command as well. So we'll do that a little later. What I want to practice here is the clear. How can we clear something that you already done? Some option minus C. There may not such option here in Ubuntu. This is it, but then there is no such things. If you want to see the, for example, clear, if you want to search, then using pipe and then grep clear, what it does is that the outcome of this manual about history will be the input to the next command. So next command will work in this way. Grab this keyword from the outcome of the previous command. So if you do this, then there is a clear history. So clear history is another command. Command not found. There's no such things. But anyway, that is a history. So what is it? Huh? No. There's a program, so you don't have to know about it. We're not doing the programming here. We're executing the command. Executing command. We are using the program already developed by developers as a command. So command that you do here is nothing but the running a program already developed. So if I want to do, for example, I want to do something that I already did. If I do exclamation and for example P. If I do P, then this is a good example of your return exam. In history, it is written this. But if I do exclamation P, then what the command will be executed? Number 1, something. Number 2, something. And number 3, all of the above. Number 4, none of the above. So here, if I have the exclamation mark, then it go back to the previous. And if I type P, then whatever the most recent command starting with the P in the past. When I go back, then this is the command, right? pwd is the first command in the past. So if I do exclamation P, then there's a pwd. See here? So for example, if I do CA, then what command will be executed? Exclamation CA. Which one? Give me the number. Number 70. So we'll see if it is, right? Cat password. But it's not going to work because password is not my current directory, right? Anyway, it is issued. Cat password, you are right. So, for example, this is a good example. 70th command, cat password, is not going to work because my current directory is not, for example, here in this directory, etc. If I execute this command, then I can get the content of that password file. In order to go back to this cat, but because I have another cat, how can I differentiate this cat from that cat? In that case, again, exclamation mark, and then the number to that command, exclamation and number 62, then it executes specifically the command that is labeled by that number 62. So watch this. Then it displays the password content. See here? I am in the last item of that, right? Okay, that is history. Next, bang, exclamation. We already did that. If we have a bang bang, it means we can also always execute the most recently executed command by using the command bang bang. Okay, double bangs, then can execute the most recently executed command. Path. Path is nothing more than a list of directories in which to look for executable command. This is a good example. If I see history here, history, when I type cat password, then I have an error because there is no such file password. But if I do cat and fully qualified path, which means password file is under etc, which is it starts from slash, then slash means top, right? So slash etc slash password means the top directory etc holds the file password. When I do cat, then I want to open the file which is located that specific location. That is a path. So you can specify the path. When you copy, for example, that is in the homework assignments, I ask you to copy. There are many ways that you can copy. You can use copy command, CP, or you can use cat command and save it into the directory that I ask you to, right? For example, when I go to etc, so that I can do copy and then password and then my password.txt, what would happen? Number one, it is copied. Number two, there will be an error. Number three, number four, whatever. If there is an error, why? There is an error because I do not have a permission. Why I don't have a permission? I have a permit only in my directory. Where am I right now? I am at the top level, /etc, which is not my home directory. What I ask you to copy is copy that file into your directory. Then you need to specify your directory. There are many ways that you could do, right? You can do, for example, copy that, copy password. This password file is available in this current directory, but the target file cannot be in this directory, but your own directory. So what you need to do is you have to spell that out. You have to do what is your home directory. To know that, then you need to first come back here, pw. What is your home directory? /home/jun. Okay, so let's go back to that etc directory. Then you can copy it from that etc directory. How can you copy it? CP password. There's a source. Copy the source file to the target file, destination, right? What is the destination? Destination should be my home and jun. And under that directory, then I can save my password.txt. Then it should work. Or if you want to do that in your directory, can I issue the command, copy command from my directory? Do you see the difference? The previous CP command was issued at the etc directory, so that I need to specify the destination more fully qualified fashion. So let's start from /home/jun/something. On the other hand, I want to issue the same command, but from my home directory, so that original file that I want to copy is not from my directory, but from somewhere. So what you need to do is you have to spell out what is the source. Source is /etc/password. Now I fully specified the source file. And then destination is my home, which is I am currently resides. I am now at my home, right? You can tell that. How do I know that I am my home? By looking at this tilde. Remember that, this tilde? If we have a tilde, then which means I am at home. Source CP is the same command that you, what is the command that we did the last time? Oh, I didn't issue that, right? Then you can do my password.txt, then can be saved. Okay, that is the path. Note that if the same command lives in more than one of these places, the first one is the path listing, is the one that is used. Well, similar things that we looked at already. To complicate this matter even more, the versions that are in these different directories may be different as it okay. All right. All right. So up to this path, I think you all have the technique for your first homework assignments. All right. Next, grep. We also practiced this grep a few times. Grep is the tool for you to search, which is a very, very convenient and easy to use, although it is not really covering complicated patterns. So from next week, we'll look at regular expression. Regular expression. What regular expression can do is that regular expression is the expression that covers all regularity of the patterns. For example, email. Email has some patterns, right? What is the pattern of emails? Starting with a character, any repetition of characters and numbers, and somewhere there should be at sign, at, followed by some repetition of characters and dot notation. There may be multiple dots, one or more dot notation. There's no one has the email with no dot or no at symbols, right? If it is, as far as it is an email, then there should be at sign, there should be at least one dot. Anybody has your email address, for example, jyun@com, no .com, no such emails, right? At least there is a one dot. At least at most one at sign, one and only one at sign. There is no two at signs in anyone's email address, right, Mr. Stolling, Randall? You've never seen any emails, for example, Randall.Stolling at Mercy at mercy.edu, right? That's some pattern. We call that regular expression. In certain files, if you want to search email address only, I do not know what specific email address is written in that document, but what I want to search is anything written in the format of emails. There may be some that situation, right? Or I want to search New York license plate. New York license plates has some regularities, right? Right? What is the regularities of a New York license plate? 3 letters and 4 numbers, right? Which is not the same as, for example, Texas license plate or California license plate. Each state has some regularities. Supposedly, more practically to the cybersecurity professionals, I want to find out New York license plates from some file. Let's say files 1 gigabytes, very, very large files, so that but you have electronic version, but you do not have time to read all. But if you have grep this command, then you can find it, right? So that is a regular expression. Before we get to the regular expression, if it is a simple search, simple the keyword that you know already, not the patterns, but the keyword itself. Supposedly, I know the keyword, so that this is what I want. Then you can use grep command. So let's look at grep tool searches for lines matching a specific pattern. So that is this. Grep, this is the command. You need to start with the grep and the pattern and files. Okay, for example, can you find out whether your login ID is available in the password file? What is the command? Grep my login is Jaeyoon, and then target is etc.password. Then you can tell me whether it is. From top, type is file name is my. Sudo. Somehow this is not working. POM, for example. Find from top, permission 644, name, password. It works. What it does is, what I was trying to do is permission is 644. Numerical expression for 644 means 6 comes from 2 plus 4, so read and write. 44, then there's a read. So owner can read and write, and all others can only read. There's a 644. If you have 777, then everyone can do anything. So, for example, 777, POM 777, then there's nothing. There's no password that anyone can read and write, right? As you can see here. But if you change that to 644, then as you look at some files, see here, those files. Okay, more. If we want to find the last 50 days modified files, find the mtime 50. So find from top, modify time 50, last 50 days, anything that is modified. So permission denied, then you can do sudo. Then you can find all. See, those files are no such file, no such file. There's nothing permitted last that. And if I do last 1 day, still fine. Last 50 accessed. Oh, this is better. Access time rather than modified time and access time. Last 5 days. Last 1 day. Function no such file. No, there's no such things. Matched. I think minimum change file in last 1 hour. I think that is better. Right? 60 minutes. Because I might have that. So see minute last 50 minutes. Find the minus C minute, minus 60. Should be minus 60, minus 50. Yeah, they're all, because I installed, I have to change it. If I want to find, for example, all empty files, then from TMP, find slash TMP temporary file, type equals file and empty, if there is any empty files. Yes, there is some empty files, right? What it does is that I want to find all the empty files in this trash can, TMP. File, this type, minus type F means there is a file. So we have some empty files. Can you verify it? Yes, we can verify it. For example, if we do TMP, then Unity support test and config error, those two files, size is 0. Yeah, this is the size is 0. Okay, so my question is, find all hidden files. How can you find all hidden files in Linux? Hidden file can be found out minus A. They're all hidden files. If you want to see more detailed hidden file, minus LA, so that minus dot bash logout, there's a hidden file, dot bash rc, all dot, starting with the dot, they're all hidden files. We have those hidden files and those hidden files and hidden files in my directory. Find all empty directories. All empty directory. If there is any empty directories. In order to do that, let's make empty directory. mkdir my empty. There's a directory. See here, my empty. This is the directory just created by mkdir my empty. And find out. Go all the way up to the root cd slash and find from current. The type is directory. and empty. See, I have empty file here, my empty. Let's see. Can you sudo print it shows all. Let me see, Jayun. Oh, that is also empty. All directories, that is also empty. Picture, that is also empty. That is why I have all the empty files here. They're all empty. And then config cd dash config directory. There is also empty ones. If you see here, config, those folders are empty. Upstart, update. Among those, upstart and update, those are empty directory. In order to do that, if you see cd upstart ls, there's nothing. Right? Empty directory. What was the command? Command was find / type d for directory and empty. Okay, then it can tell you all the empty directories from the top to bottom. This kind of a find command or grep command are a good tool for example, cybersecurity professionals to find out for further investigation. Investigation. If you want to find, oh, there is an empty directory, then some attacker comes in my system and do something and then leave by amplifying all the that particular directory. Okay, so we'll take a about 15-minute break and then we'll get back to do more work. Okay. Any question before we take a break? Okay. See you. Okay, I/O redirection. There's a standard input and output by using symbol that we practiced a little bit last time. There is a reserved symbols available in Linux, which is greater than sign. If you have a greater than sign, then a greater than sign followed by a file name, then it overrides. Similarly, you have a double greater than sign like this, then it appends. This kind of things can be done also, can be practiced in your first homework assignments in this way. What I asked you to do last time, in the homework assignments, you need to copy password into a file, right? So cd, then this is your home directory. There you want to read the content of a password file. Password is available in one login password is available in etc/password. If you do cat, then all content is displayed in the standard output. If you want to save the standard output into a file, then instead of doing nothing, you can do greater than sign and then my password, my pw.txt, then it is saved. Instead of displaying the content of that file, content of this file, it goes into the directory here. So for example, if I do my pw.txt, then it'll be the same file, right? So you can use copy command to copy the source file to the destination file, or you can cat the source file and then save the output, save the standard output into a designated file. So you need to put the file name after the greater than sign. Okay. If you want to append it, then you can do in this way. Double greater than sign. Then one more full set of the content of a password file will be appended to my pw.txt file. So for example, if I want to do cat and then grep Jaeyun to see if there are 2 items. Oh yeah, there are 2 items. Why? One time I dump the content of a file by having greater than sign, append one more time. So the credential information to Jaeyun appear twice, right? That is what we can practice. There's a redirection. You can do redirection, for example, so using less than sign. Less than sign is the standard input. For example, I want to grab Jaeyun. From where? You can say my pw.txt. Do you see the difference? In this way, I cat my pw.txt pipe grep Jaeyun. So first command here displays this file, the content of this file. Because I have a pipe, the content of this file will be fed into the second command here. So grep Jaeyun. Similarly, I do here grep Jaeyun first. Usually when I do grep, when I do search, then I grep my keyword followed by the target. But instead of giving target, I put here, I want to send this as an input. That's fine, right? But in fact, this also works without having to that, right? That also works. Or I want to grab Jaeyun, and then I can say echo echo, wait a minute. Echo can do, but echo cannot do this. Probably, yeah, maybe confused, right? No such file. It's not gonna work. Okay, there's the input. Sometimes we can combine greater than sign and less than sign together. There is a date. So date will be given to a file output. I don't have a good example, but suppose if you have the command average, this is some program average, which receives the data, one dot data, and then output will be written into something else, right? That is also possible. We can practice that if you know a little bit of the programming language here. Let's say Python is here by default. Yeah, 2.7 is there already. So for example, well, we'll practice that later when we have some programming languages involved, rather than wasting time here. Okay, so let's move further. A standard error can be also written in this way, greater than sign and ampersand, right? If we have some error messages. For example, if you have GCC command, this is a C program, and then greater than sign and ampersand and output, then only output will be error messages from this will be assigned to that. Okay, so let's see, GCC is here. GCC is not available. Oh, GCC file. Oh, okay. So this is possible. So GCC, because anyway, that is error messages. So right now, this is my home directory. So let's create a subdirectory, mkdir gcc, and then change directory gcc. Where I am at /home/jun/gcc. Here we can practice. For example, I do not have any file, so that touch and then sample.cc. Of course, this is a C program. Looks like C program, but actually nothing there, right? I just touched it. Let's try gcc -c, which is a compile, sample.cc, -o, minus output, I would say out. And then sample.cc. If I do that, then there is an error message. Instead of giving error message into the standard output, if I do greater than sign and ampersand and my error, then it's saved into that file. What file is it? My error file. So if I do more my error, then the content of that file is the same as the error messages directly from that command. That's handy, right? So what is the direction redirection symbol for error messages? Is greater than sign and ampersand. Okay, running background job. Linux operating system is multi-processing. What is a process? Process is a job. What is a job? Job is a program which is currently running. What is a program? Program is the command. Command is nothing but a program developed by developer or developed by you also. Anyway, there is a command. Command is executing, then that is a process. So you might have a multiple process. Linux supports multi-processing. But when you do on your terminal, you can issue one command at a time. If you want to practice multi-processing, very naive approach to do that is that you have to create multiple terminals. So one command per terminal, then you will have multi processes running. Now, question, can we do that even if we have one terminal on? Yes, you can, right? You can execute a job, but push into the background. And if you want, you can bring it back to the foreground. So you can push back the background and bring it back to foreground, background, foreground. That is very, very possible. No, it's not automatic. You have to do depending upon the exactly. Yeah, per program, per command. So let's say if that is a very, very long program, a long-lasting program is like the command once Randall issued, therefore it keep displaying. So he wants to stop at some points. That is a long-lasting command, right? I do not know what it is. Another long-lasting command is vi editor, right? Vi, and then you can edit some file. Then as far as it runs, uh, it is not terminated. It's still running. right? For example, vi, and then I can do uh, sample2.cc, another C programming, PIC, okay? And enter, then there is a C program. So PI mode. If I want to insert, then type I, and then you can say whatever you do. Why so many? Delete, delete. Okay, include, and then standard io.h. Let's say that, okay? And then escape, and then save it, then ZZ, type whatever you want to do. And then capital ZZ means save and exit, right? ZZ and save and exit. If you do that, if you do ls minus l, then you have sample2.cc program, which is a 17 byte long. All right. So you can redo it. So vi sample2.cc, but can I do it as a background? If you want to make it background, then you have to do another ampersand at back end. See here, jobs. Here, this is an example. vi foo.c and then ampersand. Then it runs. This vi command is running, but push it to background. Background. Is it still running? Yes, it is still running. PS, then you can see vi. My vi is still running. PS is nothing but process. It is still running. If you want to make it foreground, then you can say FG. Then it runs. Bring it back. Right? And then again, escape and uppercase ZZ. Practice up one more time. Do this. Let's do it this way. Do it this. And somehow Control C. This is not going to work, right? Then escape colon Q, then without saving it goes out. What I want to do, long lasting command. What is possible? Let's try to do this. Find name anything. Find the name minus name, but I'm not sure it works. Do this. Grab A from top any file. I want to find any name start where there is A from top. Then I think it goes. Oh, no directory. And like this. I want to find out A star slash star. It goes so fast. Grab. Let's do this way. Grab. I'm trying to find out long lasting. Name in. And then print. Goes long, right? It goes long. Yeah. Name. Okay. Let's find out long one. Let's find out which one gives the long list so that we want to stop. Oh, this is find slash minus c minute. Yeah, it lasts long. Find slash minus c minute. So last 5 minutes. Last 5 minutes if it is modified. If it is accessed. If it is modified, that's fine, right? Let's see if it runs so much, right? So somewhere you can break it, interrupt, Control C. Control C. It's not killed. It's still there. So PS, then, oh, it is killed? It's not killed. So background, oh, wait a minute. Control, yeah, Control G, not Control C. Control Z, which means stop. Stopped. So PS, then you can see still find, right? You see what I'm saying? This is a command that I want you to practice. Find slash minus c min, which means I want to find all the files change the last 5 minutes. Minus c min, min, and then minus 5, which is in your handout. Then it displays long list. So somewhere you can stop it by pressing Control Z. Control Z. It is stopped. Now, because it is stopped means it is hold. It is on hold. It's not finished. It is not foreground. It is not background. But it is held somewhere. So you can push it background. Then it runs. And Control Z again. And then you can do foreground. It's done. Okay. This Control Z, and then background. It's done. Yeah, background is not in here. Right. The stopped things can be pushed back to background or foreground. Right after this, if you do foreground, then it comes back to foreground. If it background, it pushes it back to background. That is also possible. Okay. So this is the end of today's lesson? Okay. Any question? So this is a little bit about your advanced command. And the next week we will do regular expression, as I introduced it to you. So with the regular expression, we can do also some search. When we do search, so far we need to have a specific keyword, so any matches can be found. But that is not all the case that we want to search. Sometimes I know the pattern, but I do not know any specific. I cannot spell out anything. For example, I want to find out New York license plate. As far as it is in the New York license plate format, then I want to find out. I cannot spell that out, right? How many New York license plates available? 10 million, right? We cannot do. But we know the pattern. So that is another very useful language that I want you to know, which will be next week. Question?
Yes. You said like 10 million, right? Doesn't the pattern like show up? Can't repeat, right? So like.
Right. So I do not know how many cars in New York State.
What is done like?
Oh, there's no limit as far as repetition. Right. All the combinations. For example, New York State, 3 characters. All the combination, then how many alphabets? 27, right? So 3 to the power 27 times 4 numbers. How many numbers? 9 and 10 numbers, right? So 4 to the power 10. Altogether, how many? So without even special license plate, there is no pattern, right? It should be patterns. Regularity needs to be known in order to express it. If there's no regularity, then of course, right, we cannot, right? For example, email address, then we know the regularity, right? At least we know which one is not email address. Something like that. So next week is that, and then following week, 2 weeks from today, maybe midterm exam, right? Because we have online students midterm exams are organized and planned by the college. So we should go together. But you have to plan it. Yeah, in 2 weeks we will have a midterm exam. Yeah, if something happens, then we may reschedule, but better to follow. Okay, see you next week.